My name is Kimberly Losee. I am with the Harrington Core Group. Okay. So I grew up in an extremely abusive home. At age 7, I broke the silence and told a teacher that my mother and stepdad had set my little brother's hands on fire, and that we were often chained to beds by our ankles for days at a time with very little food. This led to us being put into foster care system. It was not an easy lifestyle, and I never felt like I was good enough. At age 10, I was sent back home, and that's when a different kind of abuse started. My mother allowed grown men to use me for their pleasure over and over again. My home life was not healthy. The instability made it hard for me to concentrate at school and pretend to be normal. I couldn't just shut off what was going on at home. Because of this, I was failing my classes. The school suggested that I try to get my GED, and at age 15, I was back in foster care in a group home. I aged out at 18 and was homeless and alone. At age 19, I turned to drugs and ended up being in a physically abusive relationship for 6 long years. That relationship ended when we were both arrested for items that he had stolen. I had no idea that he did that, but we were both handcuffed and taken to jail. When I got out of jail, I found some people that let me sleep on their couch. And while there, I was kidnapped by gunpoint, brought to a different town, and held in range for 3 months. My escape plan got me away from those horrible people, but led me down a troubling path with the police. I had gained my kidnappers' trust enough to go to the grocery store with them. Once the grocery cart was almost full, I walked straight out the doors with the groceries because I knew that that would get the attention of the police and the police called for stealing the groceries. I tried to explain to the police why I had did it and what was going on. And they didn't believe me. Instead, they took me to jail. During the time I was being held captive, I became pregnant. So when I was released from jail, I knew that my life had to change as I was now bringing a child into the world. I had my daughter and attended an inpatient rehab. When I was healthy enough to leave, I went out and got a job. It was now just the 2 of us in a small 1-bedroom trailer. This is where I met my husband, Fred, and life seemed good, almost normal. This was new to me, something I had never experienced. Many won't understand this, but it was a change that I wasn't used to, and I had a hard time with the new, good lifestyle. So I turned to drugs, and worse, I got him to do it also. We both ended up going to jail, and I thought that might be the end for us, but it was just one of the hiccups in our marriage. We have been clean for 11 years. We have 3 darling children together. We have 3 darling children together, along with Vanessa, my oldest. 4 years ago, my husband and I made the decision to uproot our family and move thousands of miles away from the place we called home. That decision caused way more chaos and struggle than we thought. While the move was what we needed, Vanessa did not do well moving so far away. I learned that she had been self-harming. She had snuck out, her grades were not good, and she was suffering from depression, leading her to finish her 8th grade semester at home. That summer, we heard about a program called Core Community when my husband was at the laundromat. We weren't really sure what all it entailed, but knew they talked about budget and finances, and we can always use help there. We attended the first class as a family, and little did we know the program was about to become our new home, our new family, our new community. My husband and I learned so much. Who knew that the word poverty doesn't just mean that you're broke? This program covers 11 different areas of poverty. It was just what we needed. We went from being the new family in town that no one knew to having a huge support system. When we joined the program, I was a stay-at-home mom with no real direction. Most days felt like I was just going through the motions, trying to survive. I didn't feel seen, I didn't feel heard, and I definitely didn't feel like I mattered. But Harrington Hearts changed that. Through coaching, workshops, events, and support, I started asking questions I hadn't asked in years. What do I want out of life? What do I really want to be? I applied to college, I explored careers I've never considered, and because of the connections with the program, I was given opportunities to work at the school for a few years. I started setting boundaries that allowed me to rekindle family relationships and remove toxic ones. I stopped trying to forget my trauma and instead face it and understand that it is a part of me, but that it doesn't define me. I began to believe that I could put the past behind me, get a degree, and feel truly successful and happy in life. My kids, they flourished. They found friends, joined clubs and sports, and discovered a church where they feel safe and welcome. Vanessa is happy, healthy, and doing her schooling at school. But the biggest shift was in me. I'm not just a mom anymore. I crave routine, I crave stability, and most of all, I wake up with purpose now. Every time I speak for Harrington Hearts, I'm reminded of something. The circumstances I was dealt do not define me. They do not define my children. They do not define us as a family.